Good evening and namaste to all my viewers. Dear students, you all are welcome to the live session of Genius Lakshya. We have been discussing Indian polity because it is very important topic, important subjects of all types of government examinations, where we have discussed various topics and today we will also discuss how can the entire government process be made corrupt free or corruption free. India is a developing nation, and in a developing economy, if the government is accountable for the progress of the nation, then it becomes a success of a democracy. Today, we will understand what are the various provisions or acts in our country to make our country a corruption free country. What provisions are there? What are the systems? So, in my previous presentations, I have already discussed the backgrounds of the story. We started the story from Sweden, one of the first country where ombudsman process was started. And the objective is to make the nation free from corruption, and it works as a surveillance, it works as a camera, it's work as a watchdog. And since then, various other countries, Scandinavian countries, Finland, Denmark, they adopted the process. Then it went to the United Kingdom. Names are different. In India, we call Lokpal for the entire nation and Lok Ayukt for the state. But different countries have different names. But the function is one. What is the function? To keep a watch upon all the public functionaries, all important public functionaries like Prime Minister, Cabinet Minister, different class 1 officers, All India Service officers, variety officers are there. In state level, we can say Chief Minister, ministers, other government authorities. So, we call it Lokpal in our country. In UK, it is called Parliamentary Commissioner. Sorry. In Sweden, it is called Ombudsman. Don't get confused. It is the same and one in different nomenclature. Means in different names. Function is one. Objective is same. What is the objective? to put a check on the corrupt practices of the public functionaries. So we have the process. We have Lokpal in our country. And Lokpal is there to work as a watchdog of corruption in our country. And it has been clearly defined the functions and objective of this functionary, of this institution. Right? So let's start. If you have any doubt, feel free and ask me in the comment box. Any doubts regarding the topic. Okay, so let's go. I'm sharing the first slide of the presentation. If it is visible and audible, let me know soon. So, in the third presentation of Lokpal and Lokayut, we will be discussing details, and today is the last and third presentation and the last presentation on the topic. 2013 gave us Lokpal and Lok Ayukt Act. India got Lokpal and Lok Ayukt Act in 2013. And what the act say? The act says that the Lokpal lays down clear timelines for preliminary inquiry. Preliminary inquiry means the first inquiry, the fundamental inquiry regarding any kind of corrupt practices is called preliminary inquiry. And what is the duration? It is 3 months. And it can be extended by more 3 months. So you should know and you should remember the duration of the preliminary inquiry. Inquiry of the first level. After that, for investigation, the duration is 6 months. Again, the duration can be extended by 6 more months. And what is the time period for trial? 1 year. Again, this period is extendable. It can be increased by 1 year. And to achieve this objective, a special court or the special courts to be established, to be set up. It enhances the Lokpal Bill Act, enhances means it gives improvement or maximum punishment under the Prevention of Corruption Act from 7 years to 10 years. This is the punishment for the corruption. According to the PC Act or Prevention of Corruption Act, this is the maximum punishment. And what is the minimum punishment? Under section 7, 8, 9, and 12 of the Prevention of Corruption Act will now be 3 years. This is the minimum punishment under the PC Act. And the minimum punishment under the section 15 is 2 years. So the points to be noted are the maximum punishment under the Prevention of Corruption Act and the minimum punishment under the section 7, 8, 9, 12 and section 15. These are the points to be noted. Institutions which are financed fully or partly by Government of India are under the jurisdiction of Lokpal. But the institutions aided by government are excluded. One should understand it clearly that which organizations, public functionaries, authorities are included under the jurisdiction of Lokpal and which institutions, public functionaries, authorities are not included. They are excluded from Lokpal. Very, very important to understand. So here the clear guideline is that if there is an institution and the institution is financed either fully or partly by the Government of India, then that institution comes under the purview of the Lokpal. But if the institutions are aided, they are helped by the Government of India, then those institutions are not included in the jurisdiction of Lokpal. They are excluded. At the same time, Lokpal provides adequate protection for honest and upright public servants. If any public servant is not honest, then the Lokpal is there to put a watch on it, and the Lokpal is the best institution for the honest and sensible, accountable public servants. At the same time, Lokpal conferred with power to grant sanction for prosecution of public servants in place of government or competent authority. All entities, all organizations, institutions, authorities which are receiving donations from foreign countries, from foreign sources. In the context of the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, in excess of rupees 10 lakhs per year, those institutions are brought under the jurisdiction or the purview or the power of the Lokpal. In other words, if an entity is receiving donation from a foreign source and the amount is more than 10 lakhs rupees per year, then that institution comes under the purview of the Lokpal. It contains a mandate for setting of the institution of Lokayut through enactment of law by state legislature within a period of 365 days from the date of commencement of this act. Means when the act was enacted, was constituted, within the period of 365 days, means within 1 year, the Lok Ayukt should be enacted, should be constituted for the state. So, this act, this Lokpal Act provides freedom to the states to decide upon the contours of Lokayuk mechanism in their respective state. It means the state is empowered to constitute its own mechanism for a check on the corrupt practices in the system. So, which are the negative points, drawbacks, or we can say shortcomings of this process? As we discussed so far, that Lokpal is the base to protect the nation from corruption, from malpractices. It has some of the loopholes, negative points, and drawbacks. Let's say the Lokpal cannot sue moto, means by its own choice. The Lokpal cannot proceed, cannot start, cannot do any kind of procedure against any public servant. Is a drawback. Emphasis on form of complaint rather than substance means the Lokpal focuses more on complaint, not on matter. Then heavy punishment for false and frivolous complaint against public servants may deter complaints being filed to Lokpal. Anonymous complaints not allowed. Cannot just make a complaint on plain paper or drop it in a box with supporting document. Means if somebody wants to complain and the person has written the complaint on a piece of paper and he has got some documents, photographs or any supporting documents, that is not allowed. It is a drawback. It is a negative point. It should be legal assistance to public servants against whom complaint is filed. Means government helps the government officer against whom complaint is filed. If a complaint has been filed against Mr. X, then Mr. X will get help from the legal department of government. Again, it is not a right approach. Then the limitation of period of 7 years to file a complaint. If a matter is above 7 years, then it is not possible to file a complaint. So the limitation is a period of 7 years, and every non-transparent procedure and whatever procedure is done against the Prime Minister of India, it is secret. It is non-transparent. It is a negative point. It should be transparent. Now let's say Lok Ayuks, even much before the enactment or the setting up of Lokpal and Lokayukt Act 2013 itself, many states in our country had already started institution of Lokayukt. It must be noted here that the institution of Lokayukt was established first in Maharashtra in 1971. The points to be noted. Here there are two important points. One, before 2013, see, Maharashtra had already Lokayukt in 1971. Although Odisha had passed the act in this regard in 1970, it came into force in 1989. Again, it is before the Lokpal Act of 2013. Till 2013, when final Lokpal Act was passed, 21 states in India and one union territory, that is Delhi, have established the institution of Lokayukt. Now let's see. Structural variance means different states have different structure, different process of Lokayukt. The structure of Lokayukt is not same in all states. It is different from state to state. Some states like Rajasthan, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, all the states have created the Lok Ayukt as well as Up Lok Ayukt. While some other states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, they have created only Lokayuk. Some states have Lokayuk and some states have Lokayuk and Up Lokayuk. So there are still other states like Punjab and Odisha that have designated official as Lokpal. Now who appoints the Lokayukt and Up Lokayukt? The Lokayut and Up Lokayut are appointed by the governor of the state, as the Lokpal is appointed by the President of India. Both Lokayut and Lokayut and Up Lokayut are appointed by the governor of the concerned state. And there is a process, and the process is before appointing the Lokayut and Up Lokayut, governor consults he contacts Chief Justice of High Court, and the governor also contacts the leader of opposition in the state legislative assembly, means the leader of opposition in Vidhan Sabha. Now let's see the qualifications for the Lokayukt and Up Lokayukt. Judicial qualifications are prescribed for the Lokayukt, means they should be from the judiciary background in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Odisha, Karnataka, and Assam. Means these are the states where the qualification of the Lokayukt is judicial, means from judiciary background, fundamentally a judge. But no specific qualifications are prescribed in the states of Bihar. For these states, qualifications are already prescribed. But for the states like Bihar, Maharashtra, and Rajasthan, no any specific qualifications to be Lok Ayukt. Then what is the duration of their office? The time period in almost all states, the term of office fixed for Lok Ayukt, it is 5 years. Duration or maximum 65 years of age, whichever is earlier. If a person attains 65 years, then he will be retired. If he does not attain 65 years, but he completes 5 years, again he will retire. So minimum age is 65 years or 5 years. Whichever comes earlier, the person will retire. Once he is retired, he is not eligible for reappointment for second time. Once he is retired, then he cannot be appointed as a Lok Ayukt. Now let's see the jurisdiction or the area who comes under this Lok Ayukt. There is no uniformity. Again, different states have different pattern, different structure regarding the jurisdiction of Lok Ayukt in all states. Let's see all the states. The Chief Minister is included within jurisdiction of Lok Ayukt. Means the Chief Minister can be investigated for any kind of corrupt practices by Lok Ayukt in the states like Himachal Pradesh, the states like Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. The Chief Minister comes under the purview of Lok Ayukt. While the Chief Minister does not come or he is excluded from the purview of Lok Ayukt in the states of Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, and Odisha. So some states have the provision that Chief Minister is coming under the Lok Ayukt, and some states have different provision. Chief Minister does not come under it. The ministers and higher civil servants are excluded in the purview of Lok Ayukt in almost all the states. Members of state legislature means MLA are included. They comes under the Lok Ayukt and in the purview of Lok Ayukt in the states like Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and Assam. The authorities of the local bodies, corporations, companies, societies are included in the jurisdiction of the Lok Ayukt in most of the states. Now let's see the investigation process. In most of the states, Lok Ayukt can start investigation either on the basis of complaint received from citizen. If a person will complain, then they will start investigation against the unfair administrative action on its own. But the Lok Ayukt does not enjoy the power to start investigation on his own. Means the Lok start investigating after getting complaint from any citizen, any person on initiative in the states like Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh and Assam. Lastly, some of the features of Lok Ayukt. The Lok Ayukt presents annually a report, a consolidated report on his performance. The governor places this report along with explanatory memorandum before the state legislature. Means Lok Ayukt submits an annual report to the governor of the state, and the state governor places the report in Vidhan Sabha. The Lok Ayukt is responsible to the state legislature. The Lok Ayukt takes help of the state investigating agency for conducting any inquiry. If he wants to inquire, then he takes the help of any investigating agency of the state. The Lok Ayukt can call for relevant files, document from the state government or department. If Lok Ayukt wants any kind of file, any information, any record, then it can ask for the same. Then the recommendation made by the Lok Ayukt are only advisory, binding to the state government. Means final statement is, if the Lok Ayukt gives any kind of recommendation, then it is not mandatory that the government will follow. The government may reject it. Thank you. This is the end of the presentation. So if you have any doubts and question query, definitely feel free and ask me the questions. So today we completed one of the most important topics, that is Lok Ayukt and Lokpal. Okay. So for any doubt and query, definitely you can write me on my email ID rohitsika@geniusschool.co.in. Till then, take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.